And welcome back to Ozarks Live. Cami and I are here to talk all things Survivor. So after 40 successful seasons, Survivor returns tonight with season 41, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The season is expected to ignite the new era of Survivor.
This show, for the first time ever, will run 26 days instead of the traditional 39, creating a more intense, hardcore, and fast-paced mode for survival within the game. 18 new contestants embark the deserted islands of Fiji for the ultimate title of Sole Survivor. We have an exclusive first look at the premiere episode. Let's take a look.
Survivor is back!
We're back, and the excitement and the enthusiasm and the energy is really big.
I'm here!
This cast is a great group of people. Lots of different stories from different walks of life.
I grew up in Sri Lanka in a tiny village with no running water, no electricity.
As a neurosurgeon, you are expected, even when you're tired, even when you're hungry, to still perform at the highest level possible.
My entire life, I've been having to outwork everyone else just to get a shot. And then when you get a shot, you have to maximize that opportunity.
There are a lot of changes in Survivor 41. First of all, 26 days. So that means it is a very fast pace.
Of course, Survivor is always 39 days, but even knowing that that is no longer on the table, like, they're gonna throw anything at us.
And there will be some controversial twists. They will have no food, they get no rice, and they get only minimal supplies to start with.
I'll eat anything. I'll go eat a rat, I'll go eat a scorpion, I don't care.
There's also going to be penalties for losing. It's not enough that you lose the immunity challenge and have to go to tribal. You're also gonna lose your flint until the next immunity challenge.
I wanna not lose any challenges no matter where I am.
There will be new advantages.
Those idols are gonna be mine. Advantages should be mine. You know what I'm saying? I think I got everything it takes to win.
We also have another new twist at Tribal Council called the Shot in the Dark. It's a Hail Mary. You only want to use this if you truly think you're in trouble because you're sacrificing your vote.
If you don't go for the gusto, as Wendell Holland would say, you're gonna get your torch snuffed.
There's also something I'm really excited about. It's called the Game Within the Game.
Game Within the Game is an interactive experience for junior future Survivor players, where they'll have to spot and solve rebus puzzles hidden within each episode.
Survivor 41 is a new era of Survivor.
It's a wild ride from the start to the finish.
So buckle up.
Buckle up. So what are your thoughts on this video?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so 3 things that stand out. First of all, this shot in the dark twist I think is super exciting because I think a lot of times they walk into Tribal Council not knowing for sure if they're going to leave safe or not. You know, if you're not in that secure alliance, if you don't have that immunity idol around your neck, sometimes you're up for grabs, you know, and you can definitely be the first one out or, you know, get blindsided by the tribe as well. So I think to have that kind of advantage of your own game right there, just to take a shot in the dark, I think is so exciting.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is really exciting that Jeff mentioned is that you are not always promised the typical resources that they're given. So he mentioned that if you lose immunity, you may also lose your flint. And in seasons past, it proves that typically, you know, if you don't have flint, they have a really hard time making a fire on their own. So that could ruin, I mean, that could change a lot of things. You know what I mean? We're talking no fire, potentially no food, potentially no warmth, potentially no way to boil the water. So there's like so many different things that can happen there. I'm also really excited about this Game Within the Game twist. I think it really lets these younger kiddos kind of get in there and figure out what Survivor's all about. Maybe see if, hey, mom, dad, one day this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's really exciting. So yeah, what do you think about it?
Well, you know, it's been going for 20 years, and I actually haven't watched it since about the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, you've got me full in on this season, though. I'm pretty excited about it. But, you know, as you go 20 years in something, you have to keep making these contests more intense and all that. So it's just going to be interesting. You know, they just go further and further in with this all the time, you know? So.
So, Cami, who are your early favorite contestants
Okay,
this season?
so I have a few. Danny McRae, he has a crazy work ethic. You know, he was in the NFL. He talks about a single mom. He loves to cook, which I feel is like this, you know, whole level of creativity, making something from nothing. I think his vulnerability and is the fear of letting people down, and that could be an asset or it could be what ruins him. So Nasir Mudala from Sri Lanka, I believe he has to be tough in ways that other players can't even identify with. So also Chantel Smith, she has a spiritual strength mixed with this rough past that she's had to come out of, and I believe that will make her a force to contend with. I also like Eric Abraham because he seems to be this dreamer. Respect is really important to him. He talks about that, so I've got a little bit of faith in him, but we'll see. So who are your picks?
Yes, so first I want to say I also am really excited about Nasir from Sri Lanka. I think he's going to do really well in this game. There was some twins from Sri Lanka also a few seasons ago, Nadia and Natalie. Natalie went on to win this season.
Okay.
And they were really impressive. So, but they also talked about how, they kind of had a harder upbringing and like coming from a different country over and then competing on Survivor. It was just like a whole culmination of things. And so I'm really excited to see that from him as well.
Yeah.
So some of my favorite contestants, Brad Reese. So he's about 50 years old. He says his hobbies include fishing and hunting, which is really fascinating to me because oftentimes I think contestants either this helps them or hurts them.
Okay.
Because they either go all out and they're doing everything for their tribe. And so then they may be like the first voted out because they're too much of a threat in the game.
Too good.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But then on the flip side, he also can use that to his advantage and be like, I'm doing this for you, so you should keep me in the game. So it's really interesting to see. With Brad, he also says he wants to play a similar game to Boston Rob, which is really fascinating to me. So we'll see how that goes because Boston Rob is a controversial player. Next up, Liana Wallace. So she is one of the youngest in the cast this year. She seems really ambitious, really thinks she could play a solid game. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of see how she plays. And with the younger players, it seems like they'll either do really well, make it really far in the game, or it seems like they're one of the first out. Sometimes like older players view them as immature or not ready for the game. Yes, lack of experience, so on and so forth. Last up, I'm really excited about this one as well, Tiffany Seeley. So I like her. There she is, Tiff. I like her because she seems really strong-willed and bold. She says she's from New York, and they always seem to be stronger personalities on the show. But the most fascinating thing about this player to me is that in her pre-season interview, she said she wants to play a combination of a game of 3 past players. So she wants to be loyal like Colby, endearing like Poverty, and then competitive like Ozzy. And those are pretty heavy hitter names in this game. So I'm really excited to see kind of how that pans out. But anyway, Cami, so tonight you can catch the season premiere of Survivor 41 right here on Color 10. You can also catch it tomorrow on CBS's streaming service, Paramount+.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week talking about all the anticipated premiere and the second episode. Ozarks Live will be right back.